Hello everyone! In this video we're going to get a closer look at the new interface changes and features available on Windows 11 build 22000.51. This flight marks the first build for testers in the dev channel, and it is packed with a lot of changes. Just remember that this build is also a continuation of the previous builds that the company was releasing in the dev channel when the operating system was called Windows 10. Okay, so there is a lot to cover, so let's jump into the new changes. When you first install Windows 11, the first thing you're going to notice is the new taskbar and the start menu. They're now aligned to the center rather than the left. The new menu includes traditional icons, and gone are the live tiles. You can drag your icons around. You can right-click each icon to access the context menu, and as you can see, there is even an option to uninstall an application right from the start. And this is a new dialog box that appears throughout the experience. In addition, you can also access the All Apps section that includes all your apps installed on the computer. And as before, you can use the dial to jump into a different location inside of the list. In addition, there is the new recommended section that promotes your recent files. There is not much you can do here, but the feature will surface many of the documents that you were working in the past, and as you can see, it also promotes some applications. It is not restricted just for files. If there is an item on the list that you don't want to see, you can always right click and you have an option to open the file location or remove it from the list. Although the taskbar looks very similar to the previous version, the one in Windows 11, it's new, and it has a center design with new animations when you are opening applications and when using specific features, such as, for example, when opening task view. As you can see, the animation when clicking the button. Also, when you hover over the new buttons, you will now get access to different options, and you will continue to see thumbnail previews for different applications. And this is how the Start right-click menu looks like in this new version of Windows. Unfortunately, the taskbar now is docked to the bottom of the screen, and Windows no longer lets you change the locations either to the left, top, or right. It will always be docked to the bottom, which is disappointing for a lot of users. Windows 11 is also reducing the number of items that you will find in the taskbar context menu, and now you only find one that points out to the taskbar settings, which opens the new settings app on the taskbar settings. I will come back to the settings app later on in the video, but I just want to show you that in here you will find all the options to control the taskbar. For example, from here you can enable or disable some of the new buttons for widget, task view, and search, and you can also control which items appear on the system tray. As you can see right here, just going to disable those. And that's just for the overflow. You will still be able to click the button to access the different applications. And then there is the task behavior settings, and this is where you will find the option to change the alignment for the taskbar, which now by default is center, but you can switch it back to the left side, and when you click the start button, it will open the start menu on the left as well. And of course, you can always automatically hide the taskbar if that's something that you want. Show badges, and with this option you can enable or disable to show desktops by hovering or clicking the far right corner of the taskbar. In this new version of Windows, the taskbar is also redesigning the system tray, which is at the bottom right corner of the screen. Starting with build 22000, you will now find the new notification center experience that you can open using the Windows key plus N keyboard shortcut, or by clicking the time and date icon. As you can see now, when we hover over the time and date section, we get a new animation that it tells us that we can click on to access this new experience. And here you will see all your notifications like you used to be in Action Center, and you have access to a full month's calendar. Then there is the new quick settings experience that you can open by clicking the group of icons on the system tray or using the Windows key plus a keyboard shortcut, which used to be to access Action Center. And this flyout is where you will find common settings like volume, brightness, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, focus assist, and more. And you can even control the volume. You can always edit the items. And you can access the setting right from the quick settings. If it hasn't been evident enough, as you can see, all the elements, including the interface and buttons, you will now see a lot of round corners and transparency visuals, and that's what Microsoft is going for on Windows 11. You will see that throughout the experience, including for the new File Explorer, which I will be showing later on in the video. Windows 11 also comes with widgets, which is a new feature similar to the news and interest experience that you will find on Windows 10. And it is a feature that offers valuable information like weather, news, sports, traffic in a live tile style cards. So this is a new way for Microsoft to continue having live tiles on Windows. The experience slides from the left, and it also provides a time and a search box to look at stuff on the web quickly. You can open widgets using the button at the bottom of the taskbar, or you can use the Windows W keyboard shortcut. Of course, you can always personalize the experience by adding and removing widgets. And you can also rearrange the cards to where you want them. If you want to add more widgets, just click the Add button. This will open the widget settings where you can add more stuff to it. You can also manage your interest by clicking this option that will take you to the MSN website in your account, where you can choose the interest that you want to see for news, sports, and other stuff. When Microsoft showed off for the first time widgets, it also shows that it is an experience that you can expand it across the screen, but on this first build of Windows 11, we don't have that option. Now let's talk about File Explorer. But before we do that, I just want to let you know that I had to switch to the dark theme because the new File Explorer is a little buggy and the light theme doesn't look right when using File Explorer. So this is a new File Explorer and still has the same look as before, but it now has a clean and modern interface. You will quickly notice that the ribbon menu, it's gone in favor of just some basic tools that will light up when needed. For example, we have a new button that allows us to create new items, and that will depend on where you are located. That's where you're going to see the different settings. For example, let's go to Documents, and then when we click the new button, we can see the option to create a new folder and have options to create different items. When we select a folder, for example, we see that now we have available different buttons to do different actions. And if you want to change how to view the content in the folder, you have to click this menu to see the different options. Also, some of the actions will appear when needed as well. For example, we entered to a zip folder and we didn't have the extract all option before, and now we have it right here. Since we no longer have a ribbon menu and we have a simplified set of tools, a lot of things might look missing, but they're still there. You just need to find it. They're like in different places. So let's say if we wanted to map a network drive, we will usually go to this PC and then we just click the map a network drive option. But that's no longer the case. What you will have to do is to click this new button, and that will show you the different items that we used to have in the past, and they're no longer available on the menu. And then just select, in this case, map and network drive. And we're still getting some of the elements from the older design, which in the future it might get updated. Other missing features that you won't see in the new menu includes the select all, non-invert selection, undo, and properties. And here's where you will find the folder options. So if you ever want to change the folder options, that's where you need to go to access the settings. On the new version of File Explorer for Windows 11, there is also a new context menu that looks modern, and it has only the options that you will actually need. If you want to see the all context menu, is still available, and you can either use the Shift F10 keyboard shortcut, or you can click the Show More Options option in the menu. As you can see, the new context menu follows the same design that Microsoft is using throughout the experience, with colorful icons, and there is quick access to cut, copy, paste, rename, and delete. But you will have to get used to the icons because they're not labels anymore. So it might be easy at the beginning to confuse copy with just paste because they kind of look the same, and even with rename. So it's gonna take a little bit to get used to. And this is the same context menu style that you will find on the desktop. So now if you right click into the desktop, you will get the same experience. And if you want to access the all context menu, you can still do so by using this option. But I really like the new design. And according to Microsoft, app developers will be able to extend their options to the context menu as well. And that was a quick look at the new File Explorer and how it's been evolving on Windows 11. And even though it looks kind of the same as the previous version, update this application carefully because a lot of people depend on it. And if they do a lot of changes, people will have to relearn a lot of stuff, and that might hurt the experience. Windows 11 also comes with a redesigned Settings app. The new experience introduces a new semi-transparent UI design and colorful icons, and as we've seen throughout the experience, rounded corners. Also, you will no longer find a home page, as the app defaults straight into the system settings, and all the settings have been reorganized. And you will also notice that as you drill down into the settings, we now get some breadcrumbs that will help you to know where you are in the settings. You will also see new hero controls at the top that highlights key information and frequently used settings as you adjust them. I'm not going to go through all the settings, but I just want to show you really quick some of the pages and how they look like. So let's say we're in System, let's go to Storage, and this is how the page looks like. If you need to go back to the previous page, you can click back, or you can click one of the items in the breadcrumb. You can access storage sans, like before. Advanced storage. You can create storage spaces right from the settings, or manage all your disks, just like it was possible on the preview builds that Microsoft made available in the dev channel when the operating system was called Windows 10. Now let's look at multitasking. Here's where you will find all your snapping settings, and these two items are new. We can access the desktop settings, and now let's go to, this is how the activation page looks like, and it appears that Microsoft has forgotten to update this icon right here. If we move along, we can see that we have the recovery section that allows you to fix problems without resetting your PC. These are just troubleshooters that we used to see in the Settings app for Windows 10. And we still have the reset this PC option. And the option to roll back to a previous version of Windows. Then in Bluetooth, let's just jump into printers to scanners, and you will see the list of your printers listed right here. New to Windows 11 is the new camera settings that allows you to manage your built-in or USB cameras and network cameras. This is the network and internet. That's another page I like. I like the redesign. Let me just disconnect the network and see how that icon looks like when the network is disconnected. As you can see, that automatically changed, and you can clearly see that you're not connected to the network. There is an options that you can click and view. Here's your network connection settings, and everything else is pretty much the same as we used to see on Windows 10, but the interface has been changed. In personalizations, we get quick access to switch between themes, but of course you can always dive deep into the theme settings, so where you can change the current theme, or you can get more from the store, which we have a new store as well, but we're gonna talk about that later. To show and hide the desktop icons. And now let's go back to personalization, and we can also change the background. From here we can choose a picture and how do we want to fit that wallpaper, and we get a preview of how that's going to look like on the desktop. So this is how the lock screen settings look like. In colors, that's where we switch between the light and dark theme on Windows 11. You can change the accent color. You can set it to manually or automatic. You can enable and disable transparency. You can also change the start menu settings. And here, that's where you can decide where to show recent documents, most used apps, enable or disable jump list, and see the folders that you're going to see on the start menu, which is actually what's going to appear right at the bottom. For example, like usually I just like to have settings and folders. And then when we open the start menu, we have those quick actions right at our fingertips. And here's the power button to shut down or restart Windows 11. Now let's just jump quickly to different pages. Let's go to apps and then apps and features. Here's where you will come to uninstall applications and choose where to get the applications from, just like on Windows 10. And there is this new, I think it's new, this share across devices option that allows to where to continue the app experiences on other devices with apps that are connected with your Microsoft account. You can access the more settings, and then we get this new archive apps feature that basically it allows to save storage space and internet bandwidth by actually archiving the applications that you don't use frequently, and then when you need it, the app will download again from the Microsoft Store. Let's just jump into the accounts. In the account settings, everything is just like before. On Windows Backup, that's a new page on Windows 11, and as you can see, we no longer have the reference to use file history or the Windows Legacy Backup application, but you can still access those features from Control Panel. Here it only allows us to configure the backup to OneDrive feature and sync different settings. And in some of the pages you also see a new toggle button that allows you to quickly enable or disable a specific feature. Privacy and security, this is how it looks like. And then this is the new Windows Update page. And as we can see, we have a new update pending, so we're just going to click the Install Now button. We can access the advanced settings, and here we're going to find additional options for optional updates if they're available. We also have access to the recovery settings. We'll still have the option to configure active hours, notifications, and the different options to use Windows updates. And as you can see, we even have an estimated time of how long it will take to apply the update. We'll still have the option to schedule the restart, and this is how the experience looks like. And yeah, that's this is a new settings app for Windows 11. So now that we have seen the new settings, let's talk about sounds, because Microsoft is also updating the soundtrack for Windows 11 with new sounds for common actions, and you will find those on themes. And here we're gonna go to sounds, and now in the sounds tab I'm just going to play some of the new sounds available on Windows 11. In addition, Microsoft also says that the sounds are slightly different depending on the theme mode that you're using. Also, the startup sound on Windows is back, and you will hear it when the PC boots up and you're ready to log in. Let me just show you that really quick. I'm just going to restart the device. Okay, I hope you heard it. That was the sound for the startup of Windows 11, and now we also have a new lock screen with the time and date front and center, similar to how you will find it on your mobile phone. And the login experience is still kind of pretty much the same as before. On Windows 11 build 22000, we're also going to find a new dynamic refresh rate option that is available right here for choose a refresh rate. This option is available for laptops and screens that have a refresh rate higher than 120 Hertz. So this is a virtual machine, I don't have that, but if you had it, you will see a dynamic option right here on this menu. So basically this new dynamic refresh rate on Windows 11 allows the system to automatically manage by increasing and decreasing the refresh rate of the display to save battery on the device, so you can use it longer without having to recharge. Of course, there is a trade-off, because when you lower the refresh rate, it will also reduces the quality of the screen when using applications. I have created a tutorial on how to set up this feature, and I will be leaving the link in the video description so you can check it out. On Windows 11, Microsoft is also introducing 3 main multitasking features, including Snap Layouts, Snap Groups, and Desktops. Snap Layouts lets you hover over the Windows Maximize button to access a menu with the different layouts and how you can snap windows. Once you hover over the Maximize button, you can choose where to snap the window, and then it will assist you to snap a second or a third window depending on the size of the screen and the layouts that are available based on the size of the monitor. You can also open the snap layouts using the Windows Z keyboard shortcut, or of course, as I said before, you can just hover over the button to see the different layouts available to you. I'm using a 1080p display, and as you can see, we have 6 different grids that I can choose from. But depending on the aspect ratio and the size of the device, you might see less layouts available. In addition to snap layouts, on Windows 11 we also have snap groups, which is a way to switch back to your group of snap windows when switching to a different app. So let's say that we have 2 snap apps, as you can see right here, but then you have to suddenly switch to another application. Let's say Microsoft Edge. Instead of having to snap all those windows again, you can simply hover over the app that was part of a group, and you will see now that we not only get the preview for the app individually, but we also see the group that that application belongs to. And you can switch by clicking that thumbnail, and that will switch you back to the snap, so you don't have to resnap anything again, and that makes it go back to what you were doing a lot quicker. These two new features can be enabled or disabled from the multitasking settings. As you can see right here, I'm in the snap windows and I have the show snap layouts option enabled, and this option right here is to enable and disable the snap groups. So if I disable those, I will no longer see that option on the maximize button, and hovering over an app, I will only see the preview for the application individually. Then we have desktops, which is the same as virtual desktop, but now it has a new name and other improvements. To start, the experience has the controls at the bottom rather than at the top. You can now set a different background per desktop, and you can create as many desktops as you need. The purpose of this feature is to allow you to create virtual desktops to separate your work and customize it for those specific works that you're doing. To access the feature, you can click the button on the taskbar, or you can use the Windows Tab keyboard shortcut. I can actually show you this feature in action, but I'm just going to show you the settings. So on System, Displays, and then in Multiple Displays, you will see two new options. These two new options make it easier to use external monitors on your laptop. For example, when you undock your laptop, the windows on an external monitor will now minimize instead of cluttering your desktop. Then when you redock the computer to the monitor, Windows 10 will put everything back to where it was before. And this makes it easier to use external monitors on mobile devices. On Windows 11 build 22,000.51, we're also getting the first preview of the new Microsoft Store app. The new app features a brand new look with the menu aligned to the left to switch between categories, between apps, games, entertainment, and home, of course. And you can access your libraries, which includes all the apps that you own and have installed on the system. In addition to the new look, the new application makes a lot of changes that are more specific to developers, because now people that build applications will be able to feature virtually any application on the store, whether it is a traditional Win32 app, a progressive web app, or a universal platform app. This is an early build, so everything is expected to ship on this app. It is not yet available. For example, Windows 11 is expected to have support for Android apps, but that's not yet available. So while we're here, I'm just going to show you really quick that you can browse the applications and you will get a new layout with videos and images about that specific application, and then you can click the, in this case, free to install it, and that will be the new download experience that it looks a lot like the App Store for macOS. As for the input improvements, there is a new touch keyboard experience that now includes the ability to switch between different themes, which according to Microsoft is about 13 of them. And you can even create your custom theme. And as you can see, we get, for the touch keyboard, we get an option to resize the keyboard right from the settings. It is just strange, not an option to, let me see, yeah, reset to defaults. That's what I was looking for. And this new version of Windows, we'll also find a new voice typing application that you can access using the Windows plus H keyboard shortcut. And as the name implies, it allows you to type using your voice. And also on Windows 11, Microsoft is introducing a new out-of-box experience which is the same one available on the leaked version of the operating system. And we've already seen this, so I will leave a link on the video description so you can watch it and see how that experience looks like. The only difference between the leak and the official preview is that now you have an option to rename your PC during the initial setup. Also on Windows 11, there is a new support for Wi-Fi 6E, which is a newer version of the networking standard for wireless that it allows higher speeds when using the technology, and if you have the hardware that supports it. This first preview also comes with many other changes that we have seen before in previous official builds before the company changed the name of the operating system. For example, the Settings tab now allows you to manage storage spaces right from the experience without having to go back to Control Panel. You can also manage your drives and partitions. There is a new camera settings, as I showed you before, a disk usage command line tool, and more. I will also be leaving a link of a previous video that showcase all these features and more details. And this has been a closer look at the new features and UI changes available on Windows 11 build 22,000.51. Remember to like the video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet, and I just hope this video was informative for you, and I would like to thank you for viewing.